All right, here we go. Hello, everybody. Hello. My name is Carrie. You're watching me here on Dragonfly Caregiving Chronicles with Carrie. That's me. You know, I brush my hair, but look at all the little strands that come. I don't put any product in my hair. I should probably do that. Hello, everybody. Let's breathe. Oh my God, let's breathe. You ready? So we're gonna breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. We're gonna do it 3 times. You ready? Thank you so much for breathing with me. Whew. Thank you. God, I've been coughing so much. You think I'm a smoker? I don't smoke. I've been coughing so much lately. I can hear my mom going, "Why don't you have a cigarette?" Someone should say something about a cigar. I don't know if it's my dad or my mom or somebody else. I'm like, it's just, I have my tonsils. I'm 57 years old and I still have my tonsils. Do you have your tonsils? It's all good. Hello, everybody. All right, so I'm on here today because I want to talk to you to talk about caregiving without income coming in. I know. I don't know if you can relate. But I have a friend who has that. I had that. Probably a lot of us are out there who had to quit their job or maybe reduce their hours, and you still have the same amount of bills to pay, right? So I thought we'd touch base on that. That's a hard topic to talk about, money, right? So I wish I thought it through. Maybe another thing we talked about what someone should have shared with me before and after. Maybe the financial part of it all. um, because as we know, caregiving can affect your ability to work, and the bills don't just stop. That is for sure. They don't. They still come. And even if you pay them off, you're still gonna shop because there's just shopping. Ooh, the light just changed a little bit. So I want to talk a little bit about a few realistic ways to handle money while caregiving, especially if you're caring for a parent or a loved one. Sorry, I had an itch. Sorry, I'm in the moment, everybody. It's like a little sun. Ooh, look at that. Too funny. I was out in the pool, like in the pool, immersed in the pool, not just putting my feet in it yesterday. First time for the whole year, so April. I know. Pretty cool. It was a little chilly, but not bone chilly. Just like you have to get used to it, like the Pacific Coast, like chilly like that. And then it did linger for a little bit, but then it finally was fine. I'm like, ooh, I'm in the pool. Whoop, whoop. All right, back to getting paid as a caregiver. If your loved one is able and willing, one option is to be paid for your time. That can be as simple as creating a basic agreement. You don't make it complicated. Don't overcomplicate it. Just like have a paragraph or the things that you're willing. Like, I'm going to be available for 8 hours a day for 5 days or 7 days a week. You don't have to say exactly what those hours are. If you're available more or less, no one needs to know. It's between you and your loved one. Just so you know. Put the hour rate. If you're okay with getting paid, let's say $20, I would check number one, because if you have family, I don't remember the right word. Hold on, a family and what else? Well, yeah, if there's family members and finances involved, maybe check like on call up some hospice or caregiving, not hospice. That was on hospice. Caregiving paid companies, or look it up online. How much is a caregiver make in whatever city, state you're in Google. Google should give you a idea rate. It might be a range. It might be, let's say, $18 to maybe $35 an hour. I did that because I wasn't sure what my mom 100%. I know we talked about some things, but I'm like, well, what if I need more help to do the things that she talked about that maybe she didn't want me to do? So I looked it up, and it was between a $20 and a $35 range for to bring somebody in here to do maybe a shower or to clean her after anything in the bathroom, to sit with her for an hour or two a day, to, well, not to do, well, yeah, to feed her. Like if I was going to take off on, for whatever reason, let's say if I had to leave for a family reason, an emergency, I had to have backup. So I had to realize and think about what's out there. So the range is good to know. Google it, you'll find it. It put how much for a caregiver, hourly rate for a caregiver, and then put your state and city and state, and it should give you a range. And then if that range is comfortable for you, let's say you need X so much money to survive for the month, whether it be for, let's say if you have another house you're taking care of, but you're living in your loved one's house, and you have a family taking care of the other house, which is great, but you still have to pitch in to help like you have been, right? So how much do you need? And if it's $20 an hour and that works for 8 hours a day times whatever, and you get paid every week or every 2 weeks, I would get paid either every week or every 2 weeks. Just so you know, I wouldn't get paid every month if you are able to not get paid every month. But then again, that's up to between you and your loved one. I am not a financial advisor in any way, shape, or form. I am here just to try to bring up some things that are, that affect us caregivers, and to also help relieve some things for us caregivers. Does that make sense? All right. So I'm coming from a caregiver point of view. Plain and simple. I know that you might have family members involved who may not even be there presently, but maybe they do things. Like my friend, her family member takes care, I think, of the bills and the insurance stuff, where she's like hands-on caregiver. And that's great. But if she's not able to keep her job, or if you're not able to keep your job because your loved one requires more than, more time from you, and you're not able to keep your job, I think you should get paid. My personal belief. And if your loved one's able to do it, then this is the way I think that you do an agreement and just say, your name, will agree to take care of my family, your loved one, whatever they are, whoever their name is, and 8 hours a day times, we'll just go on the low end. We'll say $20 an hour equals this much, and I will get paid every week or every 2 weeks. And yeah, so you gotta decide how many hours you're helping, what the rate will be, and how often you're paid. You can track it weekly or every couple of weeks, whatever works for both of you. Okay, you and your loved one I'm talking about, not your family member. Even something simple as writing it down, using a basic spreadsheet, just so everything is clear. But don't overthink it. You already have enough on your plate. I wouldn't write it out. I mean, you could write it out on a piece of paper but if you could type it up, great. But if you need to write it out because that's what you're due, write it out. Just make sure your handwriting or your printing is legible. Mine is not. That's why I do so much on the computer. Just it keeps everything clear. The reason for this, why structure matters, the reason for this is because it avoids confusion later. It keeps things clear, fair, and documented, especially if there are other family members or finances involved. Another form of temporary help I was thinking of, another thing some people might consider is a gift. A gift. To help get you through the beginning of your caregiving while you figure out everything else out. You figure out, okay, well, let's see, moving forward, I'm going to need $25 an hour, and I'll just put 8 hours. Even if you're available 24/7, I wouldn't, I don't know if I would put 24 hours times 20, because there'd be some time you're going to have downtime. Your family might say, hey, wait a second. But what about when you go potty, when you take a shower? How about when they're in their appointment? You're just waiting around for 2 hours. Oh my God. Sorry. I'm on the caregiving part of it. I'm not on the other side of it. What if they're taking a nap? You're not working. Yeah. All right, so, but if you say 8, maybe if you want to put 10 hours, but I would just put 8. It's like a normal job, right? I know as a caregiver, you don't get the other time off. You don't get 2 days off in a row. You don't get 2 days off, period. You're on call all the time. I get it, I know it, but the family member might not know it or understand it, okay? So try to be fair, try to be reasonable. Don't try to get them to understand where you're coming from, because that's not going to happen. In my experience, that's not going to happen. From what I've heard, it's not going to happen. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why. And that's why I'm here. Right? We're going to hold them down. We're going to make them learn. No, we can't. We can't. Okay. Side note. I'm so sorry. I don't instill any ill will on the family members who don't get it, or punishment, but it does make a caregiver's life a little more difficult when your loved ones, especially your close family members, they just don't understand. I'm gonna go off on a little side note here, and I'm sorry, squirrel. I have a family member who said, "You just tell me what you need, need from me, because I don't know." And I said, "Okay, I need this from you." Simple. And God forbid this person listens, but I'm gonna say it, and it's my reality. I asked for a phone call. I asked for a phone call to her sister if it could be every week, every 2 weeks, and it wasn't done. I would remind her, I would text her and say, "You should call your sister." "Well, why? What's wrong?" I'm like, oh my God. And from a caregiving point, not as a daughter or a niece point, the reason I asked for that phone call is my mother, I'm going to start crying. She enjoyed those phone calls so much. It reminded her that she wasn't a patient, that she's a sister. It took her out of the everyday that she was in as a patient. And I don't think our loved ones wanted to be a patient all the time. Sorry, probably should stop the video, but I'm not. It's still pretty raw. And do I forgive the loved one? Yeah, they didn't mean to. They just didn't know. And even though you share, or I share, they're still not going to know. And is it frustrating as hell because you're in it and you're doing all these things and you just ask for one thing? They asked you tell them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I can do that." But when they don't do that, that's frustrating as hell. It's so like, are you kidding me? I didn't say you had to talk for a whole half hour or an hour. A 5-minute check-in, but life, I also did this too with my family members. Go live your life. Move, If you don't, you sit, you stagnate, you don't do the things, you're going to end up like my mom. And I don't want that. I'm not taking care of anybody else. I'm sorry. I'm here for you guys, but I'm not physically coming to take care of you. I'm really sorry. But I can't. I'm done. I did this, and I am honored to do what I did. There were shortcomings. There were so many things that I'm grateful for as well. And like that phone call, even though it got me a little, it was small, but it was huge at the time, right? Because we want our loved ones, our family members, to step in, and they don't, because they're living their life. They're like, "Oh, Carrie's got it," and I did. I reassured her. I don't know how many. I got this. I'm in it. I'm not leaving. Oh, I'm not doing this for 5 years, but I'm in it. So that's the reality of that. And on the other person's end, my family member, they were moving. They were closing a business. Their lives were full. So I totally get that as well. Yeah. So, family members. They may not meet you, not even an eighth of the way, and they just can't, and that's okay. They know that you got this, and if your family members are able to meet you more and be more present, let's say if you have a husband or a spouse, a wife that's or significant other that's helping you out, and they're there for you, I commend you. That's awesome. That's wonderful. If you have siblings that are helpful, and you're grateful for them, whether they be a sounding board or they take some of the stress off of you, that's awesome. If you're an only child like me, I highly suggest moving forward before you are a caregiver. If you're not a caregiver yet, you need to adopt a couple of siblings. Oh my God, I should have done that. I don't know. I don't know if you're able to do that, but if you can, you have to let me know. This lighting keeps changing. I'm really sorry. All right, so I'm gonna blow my nose real quick. Sorry, I'm gonna come out of the deal. So back to what we were talking about. Jeez Louise, right? I'm so sorry. Almost done. Get my act together, Karen. Get my act together. Oh, I'm all pink now. Okay. The gifting part, right? Take the pressure off. Oh, another thing some people consider is a gift to help you get through the beginning while you figure everything else out. That can take the pressure off in the short term, especially if you've had to stop working or if you had to go part-time and you're losing that little bit of money that you need. But this is where I would say just be thoughtful and informed, because there can be limits. There's rules, tax considerations, depending on your situation. Okay? I can't go into specifics because I'm in Florida. Things are different here. Oh my God, now it got dark. Ugh. All right. Caregiving doesn't always last a few weeks. So it could be indefinite. My mom's was indefinite. We didn't know. We just knew that hospice is 6 months to a year. They did say that the possibility of her heart giving up may not be in that year, but there was a low probability, but there was still a possibility. So it could have lasted, not it, my mother. Oh my God, the wording. I'm so sorry if I use wrong words in here and I didn't catch myself. I apologize. My mother could have lasted longer, but it's all about what's happening on the inside of our bodies. I look all washed out. What the heck is this, the filter thing? I took these down because I was really light before. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope it doesn't bug you. If it does, I'm so sorry. I'll move to a different location next time. Sometimes it's months, of caregiving. Sometimes it's longer. Some people have caregived for years. Whether it be part-time, they go and check on their loved ones once a day, or or twice a day, and then they're doing video calls, they're doing doctor's appointments, but they're hands-on, but like part-time, right? So, all of it counts. Don't get me wrong. Not everybody, though, is living in it 24/7. And that's okay, because you're still doing a very difficult and courageous job. Honorable job, for sure. My caregiving journey was about 11 months. And that's a long time to go without a steady income, especially if you're not planning for it. If I could say one thing, it's don't ignore the money side of caregiving. Don't push it to the side. It's very important, because it's adding extra stress to you, and you don't need that extra stress. You already have enough emotional stress going on in your life. I'm sorry, caregiving can be emotional stress. It can be, and it probably is for you. It doesn't make you selfish to think about how you're going to pay your bills. It makes you a responsible adult. You can love someone deeply and still need to take care of yourself financially too. If you're in this right now, just know that there are ways to make it work. You're not wrong for thinking about it, or not wrong for not thinking about it, but you need to start thinking about it if you haven't. And you're definitely not alone. All right. Want me to tell you anything else? I think that's all I got for you. This lighting makes me look really light. Looks like I didn't even hang out in the sun. I'm really dark. My legs are not dark yet, but they will be, I hope. Yeah. Think about the gift idea. I know that my grandparents, when I was younger, when I bought my house, they gave me a gift. It was I don't know, a 4 or 5 figure amount, something for their taxes so they don't have to eat it or have penalties for doing that. But I'm sure there's something similar that can be done. Gifting can happen. There's a whole bunch of different variables for it, right? To go to school, caregiving, I'm sure, healthcare. But just check. And then, that if it's a $5,000 gift, that helps you out for maybe a couple months before you start thinking about, or while you draw up that contract that's maybe two sentences. I, so and so, your name, will be on call or will work 8 hours Monday through Friday or 7 days a week, whatever. And just at my rate of this. And, if your family members want you to do a time card, then that's fine. Do it in an Excel spreadsheet, or you have a note thing in your phone. If you're on your phone, there's a notes app. Just type in your notes. Go, okay, on April, what is today, the 26th? I was at work from 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. or something, or 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. and 8 o'clock in the morning to 10 in the morning. And there's lunch, whatever. Whether it be for dog walks, medicine, meals, even grocery shopping. I mean, you can include that. That's time that you're dedicating, not only just for, you might be getting your stuff done too at the same time, but it's dedicated for your loved one. So that's called any planning. Medicine planning, picking it up, doctor phone calls, doctor visits, nurse phone calls, same thing. People coming to the house, if you have, like my mom was lucky, she got the blood withdrawn here at the house, but I had to be here, right? To open the front door, let them in, whatever. So, dog walks, people go with their loved ones for dog walks. Whatever, maybe the loved one might need to get out of the house, and you pick them up and you're going out for a little bit. That's fine too. But I would put that down. And then, so when that time comes to get paid, everything's justified, everything noted. You don't have to write everything down, but I would at the beginning, just so you know that you're like, wow. You'll see it and you'll be like, wow, I do a lot, because I didn't realize all the stuff I did until I started writing it down or talking to sounding board. I'm like, wow, there's like 32 things I do every morning. Wow. Just putting out a number. All right. Probably more like 42. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you like any of this, give it a thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you want to share this out to somebody that you might have a brother or sister or a loved one who's a caregiver or thinking about being a caregiver to their loved one. Share this to them. Getting the money part of it may be situated at the beginning or close at the beginning part of the things happening is great. My mom and I, we had it mapped out more or less before it came, because it was important. I'm like, well, how do I, and I was going to do the bling, right? That was my thing. But then in July, it all hit the fan. I couldn't do it anymore. I'm going to do it again. I know, I can't wait. In fact, I'm going to tackle that area today. Just 2 days later than I thought, but that's okay. Just these things keep coming up. Squirrel, I know. But I did. I had to put a whole brakes on it. And my mom, she didn't understand why. She's like, well, why? And I go, I'm, kidney failure. Things. I'm like, oh my God, it was a lot. And then the medicine that they wanted her to try, all the, 2 handfuls of medicine. You have your roller coaster dealing with all the different things that all entails. Medicine doesn't work. Medicine makes the blood pressure now go down into the 80s or below. And when you have blood pressure that goes low, your mobility is even more, I can't think of the word, but you have less mobility. You're more wobbly. You're more uneasy. You can't move as easily. It's just, you don't have the energy. You don't have the strength. It's just a whole bunch of other things that come into play. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, I hope some of that helps you a little bit. If you need anything else, you know where to reach me. Put it in the comments. If you maybe you've gone through some of this, and maybe there's an extra step or 2 or 5 that I haven't mentioned. Feel free to mention that in the comments below. That'd be awesome. Maybe your loved one has a charge card or a debit card or whatever. And maybe you can use that to get groceries instead of your own money for groceries. if they allow it. I mean, I don't know. Really, just certain things. They pay all the bills in the house. If whatever was happening before you came in, they continue doing that. You're just an added layer. I don't know. I have a whole bunch of different ideas. If you need them, just let me know. Put them in the comments, and I'll try to tackle some of them. If you have something to share, please, yes, we need all the help we can get. All right? We got a big job on our hands. Our hands are full. And you're a blessing. How do you do that? Like this? Oh, look at that. I do that. Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.